respected members, members in industry, respected dignitaries, my past president B.M. Sharma sir. Mr. B.M. Sharma is known to us and he is a fighter for our profession. I had a chance to work with him since long, and reading his profile here will not be appropriate, and it will be only to show his work which he has carried out since the inception of his position in the institute level as a vice president or as a president. Before that, let me brief you about his certain positions. He is a fellow member of not only of our institute but also the member of Institute of Public Accountants of Australia. He is also fellow member of the Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka. He is a very senior practicing member of our institute, practicing in the core areas of direct and indirect taxation with strategic planning, focus in the area of VAT and GST. He has held lot of positions in the various committees of the institute, and he has been also on the board of directors of many good public sector undertakings like IRCON. He is also the regular visiting faculties to lot of bar associations, Chamber of Commerce, our sister bodies and our sister institutes, seminars and workshops. He is a teacher for us who guides us in our endeavor to increase the scope of our practice area. Basically, B.M. Sharma, I know him since last 15 years, and I had a chance to work with him when he was elected to the Central Council for the first time. His only focus was only to how to increase the base of our profession in the practice area, and also how to increase the focus of our members in industry. And in that direction, he was present when the institute was ICWA, and when he left the institute, he managed to get it done as ICAI. And it was only his efforts along with the then efforts of all the Central Council members, some good wishes and well-wishers of our members, our friends in government, which helped us to change our institute's name, although there was a lot of resistance. But somewhere we managed, and B.M. Sharma, under the leadership of B.M. Sharma sir, we tried to achieve that. Then came the issue of, in those period itself, there was a fight was very going on in between the institute level for the recognition of our profession in the area of VAT. And at that time, he travelled all over the country only to see that our cost accountant's name gets included in the list of recognition for conducting the VAT audit. And now, I don't say that it was only his effort, it was a total composite effort of all the institute level and all that. But somehow we could manage to include our name in the list of VAT, except 2-3 states were left. And now we have to play the role in the GST in the coming days. And from that angle, although he has been the president of our institute, now he doesn't have any role to play, but still he is playing his role just like Tendulkar is playing role out of the field. So we consider him as a Sachin Tendulkar of our profession, and I wish his efforts in focusing the GST area for our profession will certainly bring good results. Our profession will be very major and large role to play in the GST region. I would like to felicitate him on this occasion.
As for me, because I am coming in between the lunch and this session. And I hope that in the morning time very good breakfast was served here. So all of you will be bear with me for this. Thank you, Sriram, for nice introduction. Thank you very much. And friends, actually, generally, wherever I go on issue platform, I always request that cut short my introduction because everybody knows me. First of all, let me thank WRC for arranging this GST awareness workshop and congratulate CMA Ashok Naval for that. This is the second consecutive seminar at national level has been organized. With this, friends, let's start with the session on the GST, which is a tax of the 21st century. And we are the fortunate enough, I will say that the people who is born after 1990 is lucky enough to see this, because the people who is born prior to 1990 have seen the different structure of the indirect taxation. We have seen the RST, we have seen the single levy of taxation under the sales tax, then we have seen the VAT, we have seen the central excise, we have seen the service tax as well. But now this is a new and last reform in the commodity taxation is going to come in the name of GST. So I call it the tax of the 21st century. विमल साहब आपने एग्जाम्पल दिया राजस्थान का और मैं रहता हूँ महाराष्ट्र में. हमारे महाराष्ट्र में घूंघट नहीं है, हम लोग सब ट्रांसपेरेंट ज्यादा देते हैं. तो मेरा ये जीएसटी के बारे में जो मैंने लिखा हुआ है, रोज के अंदर छुपी छोटी सी बेबी, जो नीचे क्या है और कैसे आने वाली किसी को पता नहीं, ना किसी को एक्ट पता है, ना किसी को रूल पता है. जो भी कुछ हमें पता है, थोड़ा बहुत जो कुछ हमने जाना समझा है थ्रू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट बिल और जो भी कुछ पब्लिक डिबेट, तो इसीलिए मैंने जस्ट लिखा है उसको और आपको जवाब दे रहा हूँ. सर, दिस इज व्हाट डिफरेंट कल्चर बिटवीन राजस्थान एंड महाराष्ट्र. Serious friends, let's have the look on the GST. My station, introduction to GST, GST coverage, model in India, how it will be implemented, constitutional amendment framework, and the tax mechanism and how this will change. First of all, let me thank Vimalji because he has my job is very easy on some of the points which he has covered while talking about the current taxes scenario, how it will be addressed in the GST. So friends, just going forward, I'll just quickly touch upon some of the issues. Constitutional background. Friends, India, that is Bharat. Many of us not knowing, we always talk about ourselves India, but no, we have been actually defined as a Bharat, shall be the Union of States, Article 1 by 1. And Article 246, read with the section Schedule 7, use bifurcation of power between the Union and state. The list 1 which talks about taxation of the goods covered under the list 1. Second is state list, third is a concurrent list. The taxation in the list is already covered: income tax, custom duty, excise duty, interstate taxes, that is CST, tax on services, entry 92C, but not an effective powers is given to the state. Entry 97, any other matter not included in the list 1 and list 2 has been the domain of the central government. As far as the state list is concerned, we are aware that we have the agriculture income entry 46, then excise on alcoholic liquor, offering and narcotics at the entry 51, then octrine entry tax entry 52, sale within the state entry 54 of the constitution. Now categories of the sale. I am just going quickly to directly come on the main topic. These are the three types of the sale which can be classified in the three types. One is interstate sale, another is sale in the course of import and export, and the last one is intrastate within the state sale. So we have the interstate sale, that is CST, we have import export, and we have the local sale within the state sale. Categories of services, very very important because we are going to see the GST, goods and service tax. The services can also be classified in the three categories. One is interstate services. This is a very, very important bone of contention in the GST. Services in the course of import and export, and intrastate within the state services. Friends, just see the presently indirect structure, tax structure in India. Central VAT, that is we call it central excise duty, which the central VAT does not tax distribution of goods beyond the factory, which is already explained by Vimalji. Which is tax, do not tax only produce goods, property, electricity, alcohol and some services, and multiple taxes and cesses. As far as state VAT is concerned, it does not tax services. It's a cascading CST effect. Local body taxes are there. Denial of credits. There is a different rules are there in every state. Multiple taxes, entertainment, law, luxury tax, purchase and entry tax, and access of single market. That is what present indirect tax structure. Now let us go to the major milestone indirect taxation. Friends, when the import committee who designed our VAT structure in India, the same import committee also designed the GST structure, how it will be introduced in India. When this roadmap of GST concept was originally envisioned by Dr. Kelkar, he said that there should be only a single GST, and if single GST would have been implemented, I can say it would have been 12-lane superhighway. But as usual, we are very much well versed with the roads wherein we have some potholes, some leakages, some diversions, some encroachment. Then only we think that yes, we are traveling very well in the road. That's why we don't have the super lane, so 12-lane superhighway in India. Therefore, GST will be on supply of goods and supply of services. The concept of sale of goods, manufacture, provision of services will all totally disappear. Distinction between goods and services considerably will be reduced, and it will be in a different format is coming in view to us. Now, before let us go to the main topic, these are the questions which are generally asked everywhere. Whether the basic structure of our constitution would be changed or amended, given the Constitution Amendment Bill 122 is introduced in Parliament, whether political system in India would permit smooth launching of GST. We are observing, they are not allowing us. Let us wait for the Bihar election results now. Whether the central government and state governments are serious about GST. This is a big question. Is it so easy to implement GST in India looking to the federal state structure of India? We have the two state structure, central as well as states. That is why USA has not adopted the GST as on today. USA has not adopted the VAT also as on today. Vimalji, I am wrong or am I right? Will it be a central GST or state GST or India GST, IGST? What will be the model of GST? What is the time frame for introduction of GST? Whether road tax, passenger tax, stamp duty, toll tax will be taken beyond its ambit, or whether it will be part of GST? With the phase out of the GST, the concern is CST sale would be zero rated, or would it be considered an exempt sale, or whether CST Act will be abolished. What should be the tax base for dual GST? Now let us come to the main topic. Why Constitution Framework Amendment is required? All of us are aware that Center is only empowering to levy the tax on the commodities to the manufacturing stage. Now power to Center will be given to tax the goods beyond the manufacturing stage, power to states to tax services, And of course, there will be a binding mechanism on both center and the states for harmonious rate structure. Now, constitutional amendment which has proposed and defined goods and services tax. That means any tax on supply of goods or services or both. Very important phrase. This definition is going to play the very major role. Any tax on supply of goods or services or both, except taxes on the supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So alcoholic liquor for human consumption has been kept out of the GST. To be extended to crude, diesel, petrol, and natural gas and ATF from a date to be notified on the recommendation of the GST Council. That means from the date when the GST will be introduced, these goods will not be covered, but it will be included in the later stage. And what will include the goods? Goods includes all materials, commodities, and articles. It's a very inclusive definition. And service. Already Vimalji has told you what is meant by service. If you recall, the Congress reasons they introduced the Constitution Amendment Bill, but they did not define the services also. The 122nd Constitution Amendment Bill specifically provided and defined services means anything other than the goods. So everything is covered, nothing is left out. So this is a very broad definition, and I think with this broad definition, all the disputes relating to whether goods or whether services, all these will be decided. And so role of professionals will come down. Implementation to multiple statutes, yes friends, one for the CGST and at the central level, and one each, every state will have the SGST. Now what will be the two, CGST and SGST? Today we have the excise and service tax. As we are having the VAT under the state laws. If you put it differently, I will say it's a wine in a two different bottles. Same wine in a different bottle. And ultimately it is going to happen like that. I am giving you the practical hints, that one will come on that. The Constitution Amendment Bill says that there will be GST Council which is to be set up. Additional tax on supply of goods at the rate of 1% to be levied and collected by the central government for up to the period of 2 years, or it can be extended further to 2 years, and it will not be available by way of input tax credit. So what is going to happen with that? It will have the cascading effect of the CST to the extent of 1%. Then the compensation to states for loss of revenue arising from implementation of GST up to 5 years. Here they have given the status where the GST government is thinking first year 100%, second year 100%, third year 75%, like that. So friends, now it is very clear. Multiple statutes, one for CGST at center, one each state for every state. Intrastate supplies, this is another unique concept, is coming in the name of IGST. Intrastate supplies is made for the, even though when we make a two sales within the state, there will be a CGST, there will be SGST. But when we will make when we will make the interstate sale, then there will be a third GST. Nobody knows, everybody is talking about dual GST, I am calling it the third GST. That will be in the name of IGST, Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Now friends, we see the taxes being subsumed in the GST. Which are the taxes which is going to be subsumed in the GST? As far as the CGST is concerned, Selvan as on today Central Excise Act, additional excise duty under Medicinal Toilet Preparation Act, Service Tax, additional duty of customs, CVD, SAD 4% and surcharge and cesses. All these taxes will be subsumed in the GST in the form of CGST. As far as state is concerned, SGST is concerned, we are having the VAT, sales tax, entertainment tax, state cesses and surcharge, entry and purchase tax, taxes on advertisement, luxury tax, lotteries, betting, gambling, all these taxes will be subsumed in the state GST. Taxes not likely to be subsumed in the GST. These are the taxes, state list 2, which I showed you in the beginning, that is a part and parcel of the state government. the excise on alcohol, except industrial alcohol. Industrial alcohol become part and parcel of the GST. But except industrial alcohol, that means alcohol for the human consumption will be part of the state. State is empowered to continue with that. So personal these alcohols which are for the human consumption will be out of the GST net. The rate of tax cannot be controlled by the central GST council. Excise on offense and narcotic drugs, stamp duties, electricity duty, taxes on vehicles, taxes on goods and passengers, tolls, etc. All these will be out of the GST. And taxes to be considered later by GSTC, as I said, as specified for petroleum products like crude, natural gas, diesel and electric vehicle. Now let us see the repercussion. Petroleum has been included constitutionally, but not zero rated. It will be later on. It will be covered. Electricity included constitutionally, but likely to be kept out. So distribution may be taxed. Cascading effect will continue. Alcohol outside GST. Tobacco is outside the GST. Why? There is a benefit of it. Can anyone tell? This alcohol, offense and narcotic drugs, friends, this is a major source of revenue for any state government. As rightly said by our chief guest also, that every state government is looking to how to increase the revenue. So this is the one area